Better late than never. Is that what they say? What's up, Bulls Nation? I'm Matt. That's Big Dave. You found yourselves locked on Bulls. We're coming to you live on YouTube Wednesday night following the Bulls' close one, 111-105 victory over the Raptors. We're breaking that game down next on a fresh Locked On Bulls. Let's go.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Here are your hosts, Matt Peck and Big Dave Watson.
What's up, and welcome in to Locked On Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Matt Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. You can follow my co-host, Big Dave Watson, at BOW, BAWL Sports. Bow. You can follow us at Locked On Bulls. Also, hit us up on that text and voicemail line, 331-979-1369. Whew, Big Dave. Thought maybe after that fright fest at OKC, we were going to get a nice cruisy victory tonight. Nope. Bulls had to make it difficult once again. They led by as many as 19. The Raptors even came back to tie this game and took a lead, a 1-point lead late in the fourth quarter. The Bulls were able to hang on with some timely plays on both ends. Mm-hmm. You requested we start here, so let's start here. Ugly game in Orlando. Yeah. Bounce back game against OKC. The man in the middle. Shout out to our guy, Will Perdue. Big man Vooch. 2 assists shy of a monster triple-double, Big Dave.
It was awesome to see.
From the Vooch haters already.
And you know what's funny, man? I don't want to really pick on people. I just want to reiterate some certain things that I've been saying. One, because I saw somebody say to me on YouTube, man, why you keep saying you're going to need him? You need to stop saying that. You're gonna need him. He is necessary, okay? He is necessary. You need this dude. You're a better team when he is doing his thing, period, point blank. That's what it is. I mean, this game tonight, man, and it's fun. And what I like is they're finally figuring out, like, oh, you know what? He's 7 feet tall and like over 250 pounds. Maybe we should get on the ball inside. Yeah, you think we should do that? Yeah, we should do that more. Okay, let's do that. They started going to him inside. His game went inside, out. It didn't start from the outside in. It wasn't no pick and pops. It was pick and rolls. It was going to the bucket, realizing he's 7 feet tall. His skill set, Matt, is super rare because if his jumper isn't working and outside isn't working, he can just go inside and pound the rock inside and score that way. That's what your good centers do. That's what your all-star centers can do. They have games that can do it all over the floor. Vooch is one of them dudes, man. He is like Matt said, 2 assists shy of a triple-double, 17 and 15, 8 of 11 shooting, 2 3-point shots, just 2 of them things that he took. But, man, he did everything from the post. They gave him the ball, the assist that he had from the post, the passing that you saw from the post.
Dude, that one swing pass to Troy Brown Jr. in the corner.
On the baseline?
How often do we see Vooch make those kinds of passes from the block?
Yes,
and for whatever reason, Bulls fans don't want to give him credit for that kind of stuff.
Well, he's going to get it here because it was incredible to see that. That's rare. That's not easy to do. And then, Matt, you see him not only continuing to pound that rock inside, then what did you see on the defensive end? You saw his help defense was tremendous tonight. He was getting out on shooters. He was moving his feet. He was getting out on 3-point shooters when he was contesting shots. All that's important to play. And what did it come down to? In the fourth quarter, when you had to have it, when you needed that shot to seal the game, who's the one that got the ball and not just shot the 3, but stepped into it, dribbled into the 3-point shot, pulled that joker? Cash money is an Army, better yet a Navy. His name is Nikola Vucevic, y'all. That dude who's been doing that all season. Do y'all not remember that? He's been doing that all season. From the first game, Matt. From the first game. He's been doing it all season. Hitting them huge three-pointers for the Chicago Bulls. He did it again tonight. And this one, he stepped into. That's what made it a little more sweeter because he dribbled into it. And I could hear everybody saying, no. And Vuce was like, shut the hell up. I'm Nikola Vucevic. Swish. What a game by Vuce tonight, man.
Vuce
This is what he
giving
do.
those doubters and haters the Scottie Pippen to Spike Lee treatment. You sit down, you sit down, you sit down. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us live on YouTube right now. S. Gordon saying, Vucevic, that's what you do. Jamal saying, Vucci main LaFleur from 3. Look, I know that it hasn't been the most popular thing that you and I have done on this podcast for the last couple of months, standing up for Vucevic, also calling him out when he plays like piss, like he did against Orlando on Sunday, acknowledging that he needs to be better, especially when the Bulls are shorthanded, especially on a night when Zach or DeMar are out and you need him to be that number 2 guy. But again, the Bulls built this lead, and we'll get at the end of the show to how they coughed up this lead, but they built this lead how? By working their offense through Vooch, whether they were giving him the ball in the post and scoring or giving him the ball on the block and letting him use his sleek passing ability from that post position. And maybe it's why their offense stopped working for a while there in the fourth quarter. But again, we acknowledge he has career lows shooting percentages wise this season. But as Vooch goes, so go the Bulls, right?
Yeah.
If he plays well, this team is very difficult to beat. And I mean, I get it. I understand Bulls fans are frustrated with him. It's been a very frustrating season for Vooch. But nights like tonight show you why he is so important to this team and their success. And maybe there's some kind of head game stuff going on with Vooch when you see him have these nights where he can't even lay the ball in the basket when he's standing right underneath it. And that's obviously frustrating to see. Then sometimes his outside shot isn't falling and you don't want him to take those shots. But again, when they operated the ball through Vooch, the ball was moving. Guys were making cross paint cuts. Guys were making backdoor cuts. And either Vooch was finding guys who had space off the ball because Vooch was attracting the defense into the paint, or he was taking advantage of a guy sizing him up one-on-one saying, oh, I can beat this guy, and putting the ball in the hoop from 2 feet away. Like Stacey kept saying it tonight, and he said it on Monday against OKC when Vooch had those looks too. Simple basketball, people. Simple basketball. And Vooch is an integral part of the Bulls offensively playing simple basketball.
Like, it makes it so easy, when it's like that. And you mentioned the cutting, man. I can't speak enough about that. I mean, when he got the ball, like, you can't really double team on him. You have to leave him one-on-one with whoever's guarding him because everybody's cutting, because of the shooters and especially of Io and how awesome he's been from the baseline with his 3-point shot. You can't leave him. So Vooch has to be, he's inside and he's going to back you down and he can put you into the basket along with the ball going into the basket. But man, Matt, I can't say enough about that defense, though, that he was playing tonight. Because again, for the millionth time, his defense is predicated on his offense. If that's going well, he's going to look well defensively. The help defense he showed tonight was huge, man. They weren't scoring like that inside. What were they getting their points? Was from the 3-point line. They were scoring at the 3-point line, okay? Gary Trent Jr.
Oh, my God. Trent Jr. was what, like 6 of 7 from downtown tonight? What the hell?
Correct. They are not a 3-point shooting team. That's not really how they roll, you know what I'm saying, as far as it. But they were 12 of 31 tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's 38%. And they were killing it in the second half. Like, they were just really destroying it. But they could not go inside. You know what I'm saying, with Vooch like that in there because of the help defense. I'm not saying he was blocking all their shots, but whenever somebody got down there and he was on the little guy like Kobe or someone, you saw Vooch come over with the help, the timely help, and not fouling a lot. You know what I'm saying? Even though the ref was calling some crazy foul. I don't even want to get into that. It was a bad officiated game. No, let me get into that real quick. That last play was insane, man. Like, DeRozan gets fouled with a second left, and Tony Brothers was like, I want to go home. Like, I got dinner reservations. No, wasn't no foul. We out. Let's go. We done. What kind of stuff is that? That's insane. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about it. But Vooch, man, guys, you're going to need him. All I'm saying is, and you can be critical of Vooch. You can. He messes up. He don't do right. Be critical, because we're going to be critical of him when he's not doing his thing. That's how it goes. But damn, you can't leave him there after you tear him down. You got to uplift this dude at the same time, because even during that slump, guys, he's 16-11. And somebody tried to tell me, oh, well, that's the worst 16-11 I've ever seen. That doesn't even make sense. How do you have a worse 16-11? See, where?
Right.
Where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? I've seen a worse 8. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a terrible 16-11 average. That gets you paid in the league, bro. Stop that. So, yeah, just be down with, I'm telling you, it's going to
play in the role. Some Bulls fans who are like, oh, yeah, but we gave up Wendell and 2 firsts, and look how well Wendell's playing. It's like, okay, yeah, so Wendell's having a nice reinvention in Orlando for a team that, yeah, they just beat us on a dud night, but what do they got? 9 wins, 10 wins? Vooch accepted a smaller role on a team that's winning a lot more games than it's losing. Correct. You just need him to be good. And, hey, for all of the hoarding of draft capital that the former regime did, now Bulls fans complain, oh, we gave up 2 picks for Vooch. Yeah, we got a team. And when he plays well, they win. I swear, man, some Bulls fans cracks me up.
Yeah, the Magic lost
in the YouTube comments saying, "Oh, this team is just like begging for a first round sweep," you know, like because they almost caught. Dude, wins are wins. We'll get to that. Before that, another thing we got to talk about. First night reuniting the Slash Brothers, DeMar and Zach LaVine, for the first time in a couple of weeks. We'll get to that next. But first, Big Dave, tell the people about all the fun they could and should be having at BetOnline.
I know you could have made some money tonight if you put it down on Vooch getting that 3-pointer. I know some of y'all were mad because of that foul that was taken away. Maybe you were getting some money on the points and things like that. Maybe that's what happened. But I guarantee you the only place where you could do it at, and that's BetOnline, because it's your number one spot for all the best sports wagering action of 2022. It's a new year, new updated desktop, and a mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% bonus on your first deposit. Locked On is the code that you need to get started. Locked On. Football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, tennis, favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait, y'all. Take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the year of 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and the easiest way to wager all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Sports.
Rolling along Wednesday night, breaking down the Bulls win over the Raptors. Bulls keeping pace in this very contentious top of the Eastern Conference right now.
True.
First game, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan have played together since the opening minute of that Warriors game a couple of weeks ago when Zach tweaked that knee. DeMar getting rest on the second night of a back-to-back against OKC and Zach's first game back. So this is the first game with Zach and DeMar back on the floor together. And man, Big Dave, I don't know about you, but when I was watching that Bulls offense hum in the first quarter, and you got DeMar doing his thing, getting to the rim, getting his mid-range looks, Zach operating off the ball, slashing to the basket. Man, like how quickly we forget how lethal this Bulls offense could be when you got Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan out there. I don't know. I'd say at this point, it's kind of a long shot that ends up being, 2 starting all-stars for the East.
Yeah.
With Zach and DeMar, certainly both deserving. And Zach's stats, for as much of the MVP love and whatnot that DeMar gets, are right there with DeMar's. Man, I just love watching DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine on the court at the same time, dude.
Yeah, man. Like it feels right. Like just seeing that out there, I just said, going through all the stuff the Bulls are going through with the injuries and everything like that, you can breathe a sigh of relief when you got your 2 best players out there. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, they're out there. We have a chance to win. I don't care who else is going on, what else is happening around us. I got my 2 best out there, plus my number 3 guy out there. I got them 3 out there. We got a chance to win. And that's all you want in this league. Matt, they fit together so well that it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because nobody thought that it would.
How are Zach and DeMar going to play together?
How?
Yeah,
well,
I mean, they combined for 50-plus points and 15 assists tonight, but
yeah. Matt, like all 3 of them almost had triple doubles. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? Like DeMar with 29, 7 and 7, Zach with 23, 8 and 8. Like they all almost had triple doubles tonight, man. And DeMar DeRozan was cooking. You hear me? Them shots, Matt, he be cooking on them. And it's great because they know when to do it. You know, Zach was more his was in more of the first half. You know what I'm saying? And DeMar was more of his in the second half. That's how it's usually been. Sometimes it switches, you know what I'm saying, just depending on who's hot, you know, and how it's going out there. But that's usually how we see it. And within all that, they're still getting guys involved. Why do I know this? Because the assist totals that Matt just told you, they let you know that they're getting other people involved. They aren't just out there just chucking up shots. They're trying to get everybody involved, and they're rebounding because they understand it's a gang rebounding thing now, right? Because Lonzo was one of your rebounders, and now you lose him. Derrick Jones Jr. is one of your rebounders. You lost him. So you losing guys who get in the paint and get that for you. They said we're going to pick up that slack as well, man. It just feels so good, Matt, to know that we have, you know, just reliable, great players on our team. It's a good feeling.
Man, some of those takes to the rim that Zach had tonight, you know, he had one ferocious dunk, but even just some of his takes to the rim tonight where you worry about Zach when you know he's a guy who came back from an ACL. And it's crazy. What was it, 4 years ago when Bulls fans were wondering, like, oh, will Zach LaVine be the athlete that he was after an ACL? And now we forget that he tore his ACL, right?
Yeah.
But he misses 2 weeks worth of games because his knee was like bothering him. And Bulls fans, all we heard is the MRI came back clean, no structural damage. And maybe he rushed back to meet the team in OKC and play in that game on Monday. And Bulls fans are maybe thinking a little bit about, like, what is there something going on with Zach's knee? Tonight, the athleticism of Zach LaVine, you know, I'm knocking on wood right now, but that dude's knee looks fine. Like, his shot is still a little off. I think it was just like 1 of 5 from downtown tonight. His outside shot's still a little off, but he is still attacking that basket ferociously. And I am hoping what that means is his knee was a little sore, but it's nothing major. He needed to rest it, and Zach LaVine is Zach LaVine.
Yeah, and I mean, he only got four free throws tonight, but I just like the fact that he went to the line 4 times and he made them all. I just like the fact he went to the line 4 times. I like the fact fouls were being called when he's going to the bucket now, because we talked about it the last show, just how I was like, hey, Zach got to the line. Like, yo, they actually called fouls for him. I was really impressed at that. But it seems like, he's starting to get some of those. Of course, DeMar is going to just get those because that's what DeMar does. You know what I mean? He gets to the foul line. And that's the other great thing that we got. Like, we got a guy that can slow the game down and get when things are going wrong. Oh, man, we need somebody to score, but nobody can score. Go get a foul for us, DeMar. Go get us some free throws real quick. Okay, I got it. Like, it's a great feeling to have that too. But Zach, it's just a luxury. Like, I just really feel good because it's such a luxury and a necessity as well, because we need him, but it's a real luxury just to have that kind of talent on your team. Like, I got a guy who can go get me 30, like 2 of them that could go get me 30 if I need be, you know what I'm saying? And the third guy can do it too. So it just feels good to have that. But man, Zach and DeMar, Matt, like, best duo going right now. Like, I really don't see how they're not. I really don't. That this is the best duo going in the NBA.
And speaking of free throws, shout out to the Raptors for missing 9 of them tonight, including a couple of big ones in the fourth quarter. Bulls, Bulls won by 6. The Raptors missed 9 free throws. But if they're okay, we have to talk about how this Bulls offense kind of broke down and the wheels almost fell off again in the fourth quarter. We will do that. But first, one more person I want to highlight tonight.
I know what you're gonna say. I know it is. Just say it.
Javonte Green.
I knew it. Yes.
Hey, C Red Fred, you listening out there somewhere, buddy? I mean, honestly, in a very similar way, when Bulls fans saw in Alex Caruso's brief return what he brings this team, you see it with Javonte Green. The guy causes all kinds of chaos for that Bulls defense. And, I mean, you could argue biggest play of the game, much like Javonte coming down with that monster defensive rebound against the Thunder on Monday. Maybe the biggest play of the game. Javonte Green sizing up Pascal Siakam one-on-one.
Yes.
He's given up, 6 inches to Pascal Siakam?
Yes.
And tees him up straight as a freaking arrow and forces Pascal into a difficult shot that he misses. Bulls get the defensive rebound. Next possession down, Vooch hits the dagger 3. I mean, it's the little things with Javonte, but Bulls fans have joked about like, oh, great, like our backup starting power forward, 6'4". Like, oh my God, can we please go out and trade for a power forward? I still think that it would be in this team's best interest to address the depth of the front court before the trade deadline, and also potentially with the buyout market.
Sure.
But that does not mean that you should simultaneously be discrediting Javonte Green for any and every single thing he does when he's on the floor.
12.6 rebounds, and I mean, just, you know what, Matt, we talked about it here on the show before he came back, just how much he was missed because we didn't have that guy to do the dirty work, to do the other little things. And we were talking about in a sense because that's what Caruso always did, right? But we didn't have that guy. He is kind of that engine for us, kind of that goon type that I talked about that the Bulls are lacking. Certain things don't happen when you got Javonte out there. You know what I mean? Like, it just ain't going to go down like that. He adds a little toughness to the Chicago Bulls, and he probably the shortest dude in the starting lineup. And he's the toughest.
We're the same height.
Toughest one.
He's listed at 6'4". I'm 6'4". If we stood eye to eye, I might actually be a half-inch taller than him.
Half-inch taller, man. And I mean, the toughest dude out there. And the buckets he was hitting was so key. Every bucket was so key. And that baseline.
I mean, that dish from DeMar late in the fourth quarter when the Bulls were dying for a bucket and he threw the double team, Javonte made a backdoor cut, man.
With that dunk that he had, man. Like, and they were all key and right on time. And like you mentioned, Matt, the defense, because he was playing full court as well. He was on the ball handler whenever they had it, but he was on whoever that he needed to be on. What he did to Pascal Siakam on that play, Matt, was just spectacular. Because he's 6'4", but he's stronger than most guys. He's definitely stronger than Siakam. Like, he got a more solid base. So you can't just back him down. You can't just push him around. And then the quickness that I love about him so much, Matt. It's just the quickness and the quick hops that he has. Like, as soon as he makes a move, he's going up. Like, because by the time that defender gets there, like that dunk he had, Matt, like, he just took off. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't give them time to set up to say for a charge, for a block or anything. He was already in the air. You know what I'm saying? The decision was already made to defy gravity by Javonte Green, and he went out there and did that. That dude.
Shout out Elphaba.
Yes. He is just vitally, vitally important to this Bulls, and I'm so happy every time I see him out there. It just feels good.
Turn the page in YouTube saying Javonte was great, scoring 12, came right on time.
Yeah.
Man. Yes, Green says Lat Luker on YouTube. Turn the page saying he plays big. Noah on YouTube saying, I agree, Javonte is like that secret sauce in the food you like. What is that? I mean, honestly, we've been talking about how this Bulls team is going to make up for the absences of Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso, particularly on the defensive end. You talked earlier about an undersized team where gang rebounding and team rebounding needs to be a key every night. Javonte Green is bringing you all of that. And man, am I glad to have him back. I'm not sure if his minutes are going to increase from this minutes restriction that he's been on in these 2 games since he's been back. I think Billy said it's, somewhere between 22 and 25.
Right.
I don't think you necessarily want to be relying on 30 plus minutes of Javonte Green, but in those stretches he's out there, man, he gives you absolutely everything. And it's been a big help for the Bulls in these last 2 victories.
No doubt about it.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, we have to talk about the icky part. It's like that long-haired weirdo scientist in Independence Day. Now comes the really icky part. We got to talk about the fourth quarter of yet another game where the Bulls offense goes, look, credit to Nick Nurse, who is, I think, a very, very good, smart NBA coach, who sent his minimum 7'5" wingspan defense out there against the Bulls for the fourth quarter and they were pressuring the Bulls like they were playing full court at times. They weren't letting the Bulls just bring the ball up past half court. And then even when the Bulls got past half court, they were pressuring whoever it was. If it was DeMar, if it was Zach, if it was Ayo, if it was Kobe, they were putting on ball pressure as soon as that Bulls player with the ball crossed half court. Then they brought doubles, they brought traps, and the Bulls panicked, Dave. Flat out panicked. Unforced turnovers, couldn't find their way and find their passes out of the traps. And this is the second game in a row that we've seen this, where the Bulls take a comfortable lead and fail to adjust adequately to a adjustment from the defense of their opponent, who says, all right, we're going to ramp things up a notch intensity-wise defensively. And again, that Raptors lineup is so long. I mean, like, they just like limbs on limbs on limbs, like go-go gadget Raptors steel is what I felt like I was watching in the fourth quarter. But some of it is credit to Nick Nurse and the Raptors, and some of it is Bulls. What the heck? What the heck? Pass out of the double teams, pass out of the traps, go back to what was working, move the ball, move off the ball if you don't have the ball. Like, why is it so hard, and why is this the second straight game where we've seen the Bulls offense fall apart in the fourth quarter?
Man, well, it's simple. You don't have any ball handlers, and that's just the key of it right there. That's step one. Is the Bulls struggle when they don't have somebody to handle the basketball. And you see already where Lonzo Ball is missed, and you see already where Alex Caruso is missed. Those are the guys who can handle the basketball and break you out of those traps. You saw the flashbacks. The second game, Matt. We saw that flashback to that old Zach that we used to not like in that fourth quarter, where he would get the ball and just turn it over, period. Like, that's what was going on.
Because he feels like he has to do everything.
Correct. And would dribble into spots. See, this time when he was dribbling in those spots, Nick Nurse was smart enough to trap him immediately when he would dribble in those spaces. Because I talked about that last time when he would dribble, that last play of the game in OKC, when he dribbled into the corner and Lou Dort just fouled him instead of, them sending over a double team or, getting them over there. He would have given it up. I promise you. That would have happened. But this time, Nick Nurse is Nick Nurse. As soon as he saw him with that, he was like, send the dogs, send the long dogs over there, send the Dobermans over there to trap this dude. You know what I'm saying? Send the guys with the 80-foot wingspans.
Like those inflatable things at the car dealership. Just like,
you know
here we go. Here's our Raptors defense.
Like, for real, they're built like M. Night Shyamalan monsters. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just long and lanky. You know what I mean? Like, it's so wild. But, and it wasn't like just real, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like real intricate is the word. It wasn't like just real intricate defenses he was running. They were very simple. We're tall. We're long. We're going to trap you, and we're going to run a soft full court. They weren't even a hard full court they were running. Right. They were doing a pretty soft full court, but once they crossed that line or even got close to it, they would try to trap them and get the ball out of their hands, and it just worked the entire second half. It just continued to work. When they got that ball from DeRozan, who got stuck on the baseline once he crossed half court, he got stuck on that baseline, threw it out to Vooch. I immediately said, uh-oh, here comes a turnover. Because I saw it. Like, you don't hand it off to the center, that far out of the paint. And he threw it over to Zach, who wasn't ready for it. And
credit the Raptors, who then, like, weak side help came, and then they immediately doubled Vooch once he got that pass. And then he tried to swing it once more over to Zach, but because of that pressure, it was a bad pass. Zach couldn't control it. Turnover back the other way. And, like, that could have been a game-defining play that we're talking about differently if the Bulls cough up this game and lose. But that was one of several examples of the Bulls, whether it was Zach or DeMar handling that ball down the stretch, not being able to deal with those traps. So, I mean, I don't know what it is that Billy Donovan needs to do and or say to these guys to find ways to beat these traps and this full court press kind of defense. Because guess what? The NBA is a copycat league, and this tape is out there now. Back-to-back games, and these aren't the only two games. This isn't like the first time this is propped up. This has happened before with the Bulls this season. Correct. They are leading comfortably. Their opponent shows them a different look defensively. Sometimes it's been the Bulls struggling with zone. That's happened too this season.
True.
And they can't, for whatever reason, Just make the simple adjustments. Pass out of the trap or beat the zone with ball movement and players moving and making cuts off the ball. I mean, I'm no expert, but you got to wonder why and worry about this trend with the Bulls in the fourth quarter, because for a long time the Bulls were skating on, okay, we have a lot of talent, we got pieces, our defense is okay, plenty of bucket getting on the offensive end. Fourth quarter, here you go, DeMar.
Right.
That's not necessarily working anymore.
No, I think the key of it, Matt, is they have to get into the offense more quickly. You know what I'm saying? They got to get into that faster, get into that half-court offense faster. So if that means, giving it to someone and running a play in the backcourt to get the ball up the court a little faster so you can get into what you want to do, you should do that. You know what I mean? Do that more. But taking their time, bringing the ball up, and then, as soon as they cross, nobody's moving, nobody's cutting, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's available for the basketball. They just got stuck and they got, and you saw what you saw. But I think another key, Matt, was all that kind of stopped too when Javonte Green came in the game. That kind of ceased it too, because again, he's constant motion. He's constantly moving, setting those picks, you know what I'm saying, making it hard on the defense because he's not sitting still. Sometimes guys could sit still, when guys get the ball, they just stand in the corner or they stand there. I saw Zach, just real quickly, man. Ayo is not a normal rookie, okay? This is not a normal rookie. I saw Zach LaVine when he made that play, man. He tried to make a pass, which was a bad pass, and he tried to make that pass inside, and it was another turnover in that fourth. Yeah. And then he comes back down, but he gets the antwork, and I see Ayo immediately go. It was like, don't do that.
Ayo yelled at Zach and was like, dude, don't make that gamble. Because it was an easy two at the bucket for the Raptors.
Yeah, like that's not normal. So I think that will help too. I would like to see the ball in his hands more too, because he's the point guard. He's going to have to take that responsibility, Matt. Like that is also very important. So he's going to have to handle that. So I appreciate him using his words, but he's got to go get the ball too. Kobe White was turning it over too. He was flashing back to that old Kobe that we talked about last year, who was just putting his head down and going. You saw a lot of that, and that's because his shot isn't falling. I know that's why. I'm telling you, that's the reason why. But he was important too because of his defensive things. But man, he has to move. Guys were just standing still. He has to move, man, and get himself in the right position to score as well. But yeah, he can't put his head down and just be blind and just go and run into people. You know what I mean? Like that's just not going to work. And you're right. Teams are going to look at this. They're going to see it. They're going to use it. We got to come up with something, man, to diffuse it.
And look, it felt to me like there were 5 or 6 possessions down the stretch of that fourth quarter where Zach or DeMar just kind of, whether or not they were trapped, even if they were one-on-one, were just holding the ball and bleeding shot clock, and everybody else was just standing around. So if that was the game plan, bad game plan. Make a better one. If that wasn't the game plan, whoever needs to be that vocal leader on the floor, be it Billy Donovan or one of the 5 guys wearing jerseys, you can't have that. You cannot have those empty possessions, because the whole my turn, your turn thing, that only works when it's spliced into actually running offensive sets. Right. And when it got to a stretch in the fourth quarter, when it was just DeMar holding the ball and getting trapped, or Zach holding the ball and getting trapped, shit went haywire, and it was not good. So hopefully, again, as we've said all season long, and Billy Donovan has talked about this is still a team that is getting to know itself. There's a brand new roster, teammates that have to build this chemistry throughout the season. If you can get a win while also being able to go back and watch the film from this game and realize the mistakes you made in the fourth quarter, great. But make sure that you address what that was in the fourth quarter. And it happened Monday. It happened again Wednesday. Don't let it happen again on Friday. Yeah. You got to execute better offensively down the stretch, because the Bulls can get away with this in the regular season, but best of 7 series, you can't be getting beaten in the fourth quarter and hoping that your lead that you've built up until the fourth quarter is big enough. That's not what champions do. It's just not.
It's not. But at the same time, Matt, we will have Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso back by that point, baby. Hey! 30 and 17. Don't forget this. They are 30 and 17. Important. Each win, guys, is very, very important because of what's going on with these 6 to 8 weeks. I don't even like the number 6 to 8 right now because of what's going on. But yes, everything 6 to 8 weeks. But every win is very, very important, man. So the fact they're 30 and 17 with all that's going on, awesome stuff, Bulls. Awesome.
Whew. Noah, I see you in those YouTube comments. Nope, not happening. Not going to say that name. Not tonight. Bulls got a W. That's
Do I
it
have
for
to, man?
tonight.
Wait, you want me to go here? Is this what you want, Noah?
Don't make Big Dave bust out his neuralizer.
Is this what you want? Don't do it. Don't do it. Be safe.
He'll do it. That's it for tonight. Stick around for our Friday episode. We got something fun planned for y'all. Some of you will be triggered on our Friday episode. I'll just say that, but we're going to enjoy it. In the meantime, hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this episode on YouTube tonight. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you aren't already. And hit us up on that text and voicemail line, 331-979-1369. And we're always available to chat Bulls or anything on Twitter. I am at Bulls_Peck. Big Dave is at BOW, BAWL Sports. Bow. We are at Locked On Bulls. Until next time, Bulls Nation, see red, be good. Peace out.